Morning. It's Tuesday the 14th of March and it's 10:30. Just bear with me while I just check that I am live in the correct place. And looks like I am, so that's good. Okay, if you're joining me this morning, then do sort of say hello, let me know that you're here. I've tried to blank off some of the background because I'm very aware how messy it looks, and it's not things to do with me, so it's a bit difficult to keep it clean and tidy when it's not mine. Hi Helen, on your coffee break. Oh, that's a good timing for your coffee break. You're okay. Hopefully the light's not too bad. I've got the blinds open, but the sun's gone in and it looks quite dark out there, so hopefully we'll be okay. Okay, so I'm going to turn the camera around, so just bear with me one moment. Okay. Right, as Easter's only a few weeks away, I thought I'd make some things using this really cute Easter bunny set, and it's got a punch to it. Now, unfortunately, it's sold out literally everywhere, so you can't get it at the moment, but I think it's due in. It's not actually due in until after Easter, so yeah, there we go. But you might like to do the projects with other stamps. Doesn't have to be Easter projects that you make with doing these things. But anyway, these are the two. This is the stamp set and the punch that I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to pop those out of the way for a moment. And I'm going to bring in this projects. So I've got a cute little Easter basket with some of the bunnies on. So we're going to make that in a moment, and I filled it with little cream eggs and caramel eggs. And then there's also a card to match. So it's using the same, I think it was Dandy Designs, I think the DSP is. It's one of the Sale-A-Bration packs. So again, very easy to use any DSP that you've got lying around. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is the basket, and for that you need a piece of cardstock that measures 6 inches square, and then I'm just going to score at 2 inches and 4 inches, turn it round, and again 2 and 4 inches. Just move the scoreboard out of the way without knocking everything. Okay, now you can either burnish the score marks first or you can do it afterwards, but just quickly do that now. This is a really quick and easy little basket to make, especially if you're making it with, you want to make it with children. Okay, so once you've got all your score marks burnished, you just are going to cut 2 lines on each side, well, on 2 of the sides. So go down just to there, and again there, and then turn it round and do the same 2 on the opposite side. Okay, so that's basically going to make your basket simply by gluing the sides up. Now I'll pop that out the way while we cut the DSP. Now you need, I think, 8 pieces of your DSP, and they're 1 3/4 inch squared. I've got 2 there, so I'm just going to cut some more. 3. 4. 5. You could use this basket for making little gifts for anything really. Mother's Day, little presents for parties. Right, I need one more. Doesn't have to be an Easter basket. Okay, so just get my glue, remove the sticky bit. Okay, so these are just going to stick onto all of the panels apart from this middle one. You don't need to make sure that the pattern exactly flows, because it's going to be folded up so you won't see it all anyway. Okay, and these are 1/4 inch smaller than the actual cardstock squares, so you have about 1/8 inch border round. So it's very quick. Just a couple more to do. You can obviously make sure the edges stick down a bit better than I've done. Take your time a bit more. Okay, so that's the main body of basket. Just pop that to one side for a moment and we'll get the pieces in for the handle. Let's see whether, let me put that up there and then you'll be able to see better. Okay, so this is, let's have a measure. Can't remember how long I cut this. This is 8 inches long by 3/4 inch, and this piece is 7 3/4 by 1/2 inch. And again, just going to stick that on. With the same sort of border all the way round. Let that dry for a moment. And we can come back to building this. So it doesn't matter which way round you do it, but you are literally just folding up until you've got it an even sort of triangle there. So going to just pop a bit of glue here and fold the first one in, and then I'm going to pop the glue on there because it will overlap. Just hold that for a moment. You could use glue dots or tear and tape, but it sticks really quickly, so it's not a problem, and it's quite easy just by sight to work out roughly where you need to do it for even sort of basket. It's only a little. And again, just hold it in place for a moment. Okay, so I'm going to pop that to one side just while it finishes drying, and we'll put the handle on in a little bit. The next thing I'm going to do is do some of the stamping. So I've used both the bunnies. So there's this one, which is the punched out one, and then this one I fussy cut, and there's Easter eggs I fussy cut as well. So because I'm using my Stampin' blends to colour them, we need to Stampin' Memento ink, and just going to stamp that one down first, and then this one can go up here because I'm going to be cutting it out. And then we'll use the eggs as well. And I'm just going to move that ink out the way for one moment. Okay. And now I'm going to bring my blends in. So I've got crumb cake in light and dark for the bunnies, and then this one I'm going to use a pale papaya for the insides of the ears. God, that sounded really Gloucestershire, that bit, didn't it? The ears. Okay, so if you can see, I will colour them, but you can see there's some, try and get the light right, there's some darker areas where I've used the darker blend. So it's just really adding a bit of shadow. You don't need to do too much, it just gives it a bit more contrast than if it's all the same colour. With the good thing with the blends is you really do not have to be a fantastic colourer, because they blend so easily that, and you can keep going over them until you've got the effect you want. You can add more of the dark. You've got the brush tip, and you've also got the bullet tip for doing different colour This is easier with the brush because it's a big area. Just do over his feet. Just trying to ensure that you can see where I'm colouring so that it's get the grasp of, you know, it is quite easy really. It doesn't matter which direction you go in as such, and then you can just go over the bits where it's darker, and it pulls some of the colour down so that it blends. See, yeah, you can take longer doing your colouring than I am. It's not necessarily something you want to sit and watch someone doing lots of colouring. Okay, so that's the one bunny. Let's do that ear there. And do the second bunny. Just remember where I coloured. So I think the sun might be coming back out. It's starting to look a bit bluer. So hopefully the dark clouds have moved away without us having any more rain. It's all a bit bizarre at the moment, this weather, isn't it? It goes from being cold, and we had snow last week, so I think on Sunday it got up to about 14-15 degrees, and then it goes cold again. And I'm quite glad that we didn't have too much snow though. I had to drive to and from Dorset, so I really didn't want the snow. It was bad enough when it was raining coming home the other night. So, okay. So if you haven't tried these blends yet, it really is worth doing, because they do, as I say, they make colouring so easy, and we do have a lot of stamps that are that they can be used on. It's really good. They have really good effects as well. So I'm just gonna go back over that a bit. Okay, I can always add more to it as I want, but as you can probably see now how it's blended, so it's not as dark. It just gives it a bit of texture really. Okay, and then I've got some blues and greens for the eggs, so I'm just going to colour these in quickly. Again, you don't have to be too careful. You can, a lot of the time I'm just dabbing the pen rather than not sort of scrubbing out, because you don't want to break down the tip, so you just be a little bit gentle with them and they work fine. It's they don't need lots of pressure behind them. But they come in a pack of 2, and they're light and dark in each of the shades, so it's yeah, see, that makes it really easy then for the blending. I've just missed that one. And there is a colour lifter as well, so that you can take some of the colour off if you don't want it quite as good. But these ones that I'm using, that was light pool party, but I did use the dark balmy blue. Okay, so this one, as I say, will punch out. So I'm just going to line it up. And then these ones I'm just going to fussy cut. I'm not the most patient of person when it comes to fussy cutting, so I don't always get an even white border around. But I keep being told if you hold the scissors sort of at a 45-degree angle and you move the paper rather than the image, or rather than the scissors, then it's easier. But let's say fussy cutting isn't my strongest point, and it isn't something that I would choose to do on a regular occurrence. This image isn't too bad. It's some of them you get where they get quite a lot of thinner bits, so makes it a bit more difficult. So are you a fan of fussy cutting, or do you prefer punches and dies and just stamping straight onto the cardstock? Yeah, Helen, it's not, it probably looks better from a distance than it does close up. Get rid of that bit, might make it a bit easier on these eggs. Problem I find when I'm concentrating on doing this, I can't then talk very easily. It's like, got to do one or the other. I should have some music going or something, should I, instead? Take that off. So as you can see, it's not as great on this image as it was on the other one. Last little bit on there. Okay. Okay, so I'll bring the basket back in, and now for sticking the handle on, I used some tear and tape earlier. So, and I put it on, trying to make sure that you can see what I'm doing. Put it on the pattern side. Just put a couple of bits on there. And then literally stuck that. I decided I wanted the handle stuck inside rather than on the outside. I mean, you could do it on either, it doesn't matter, but this one's going to be it's about the right size. It looked a bit long then, so okay, so just take the backing off of that. And fix that on. Okay, so there's the main basket, and then I'm going to stick one of the bunnies on. I'm just literally going to use Tombow for this. And put the eggs on there as well. And then on the other side I'm going to stick this bunny. Okay, so there's a little Easter basket all ready for chocolate eggs and things to go in. Okay, so that's the first project. Now I'm going to, the second one's obviously a card, which in this case matched this one. And there we're going to make one to match this basket. And I know I've chosen like girly and boy colours, just not purposely, just as I was doing it, and just happened to be that way. Okay, so first of all I'm gonna just go over the dimensions of the card. It's 5 3/4 of an inch long, right, and then it's 6 inches across the top, and it's scored at 2 inches, so you get a 4-inch bottom and then just the 2 inches on the top. Okay, then there is a piece of DSP that will fit on there, so that is 5.5 inches long by 1 3/4. This piece is 3 inches by 4 3/4, and then you've got the DSP at 2 3/4 by 4.5. Okay, so those bits we'll do in shortly. This is should be, let me just double check. Yeah, 3 3/4 by 5.5, and that's the inside layer. Okay, so that's this one, and then this piece here is to go on the front with our bunny, and it's from the scalloped contour dies, and it's the third one, the third biggest one. Okay, so I'm going to do a bit of stamping first, and again I'm going to be using the bunny that's sitting up. I'm going to stamp that onto this bit. You can obviously do the stamping before doing the cutting out. Just it's slightly easier, but I didn't want to get the big shot or the stamping emboss machine out as well, so I've done it this way round. And then there's a cute little butterfly that the bunny's watching. Okay, so they're stamped in the Memento ink. And then I'm going to just stamp a little Easter greeting, and this is in the Coastal Cabana, just to get a darker stamp. And then, so I'll put that to one side a moment just to dry. And then this one is the Happy Easter stamp. Close that one up. And I need the eggs again. And the Memento ink just to go down there. Okay, so that's all the stamping done. Okay, put that one over there to dry. And again, I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the bunny on this one, just so that they tie in together and they sort of match a bit then. Just quickly go round. A bit down that way. You don't have to leave your bunny with a white belly, but I've chosen to do that. I have also coloured him in grey at times, so it's, you know, there's, but who's to say what colour a bunny can be? This is a really good set, and it's such a shame it's sold, well, it isn't a shame really, but it's typical, it's sold out so quickly. It'd be lovely for kids to use. With the punch, it makes it so much easier for, say, for children, and you haven't got to have all of the more expensive equipment in the cut and emboss machines. Do his ear, and then I'm just gonna bit of colour to the butterfly. And just to tie in the colours, I know you don't get spotty blue and green spotty butterflies, but it just ties it all in, so it's and then we need to do the eggs again. So this is the light balmy blue. I'm not using the darker shades on this one because I'm not actually blending, I'm just colouring, which obviously is something else you can do with them, is just colour, but don't use them to try and stamp with. If you put these onto your stamps direct instead of on normal inks, it will stain the stamps. So it's the Stampin' Right markers, which I'll show you in a moment. Those are the ones that you can use as instead of ink. Which I'll get one now so that you can see. Okay, so it's these ones. You can use the brush tip and you can add the ink onto a stamp and then stamp it. These ones you don't do that with because it will stain, and it will also, I guess, being alcohol in it won't do the stamps much good. Just quickly colour those. And then pop those out the way, and then we can assemble the card. Okay, so let's pop the middle layer in. And put the DSP on. Put the DSP on here. Right. That one roughly middle of that piece. And then this card is literally just going to sit sort of in the middle on there. So you just want to put some glue on the, it's not even the half of it, just down the one side. And there you have it. It's your Easter Bunny cards and matching baskets. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed watching those little projects being made, and have a go making the baskets and things yourself. Okay, thanks for joining me. Bye.